The type of synaesthesia I have is word and colour related, in particular to do with the structure of the week. For example, each day of the week has a particular colour that I associate it with. So someone could say it, I could think about the word, or I could say it myself or just read it somewhere, and then I get a sensation or an experience of pure colour, a particular colour related to that day of the week.
Synaesthesia is commonly described as a mixing of the senses in which there's crossover between two of the senses. Most commonly, what people will experience is that sound or smell or taste will trigger a perception of color. And I particularly focus on sound-color synaesthesia, where hearing sounds results in the perception of color.
Everybody has heard of chromosomes and that the DNA is packaged into chromosomes. But actually, contemporary genetics seems to be discovering every day that the more we learn about genetics, the more we realize that the picture is actually extremely complex. Synaesthesia is actually a very good example of that. Until very recently, it was believed that synaesthesia develops due to a particular mutation in a particular gene in the DNA. But today we're realizing that it's much more complex. It's due to variation in many different aspects of DNA, in many places in DNA. And so actually we might all be carrying some genes for synaesthesia, but only develop it under certain conditions, or if you accumulate many different aspects of DNAs.
I taste words, and they taste good, usually, when not egg. Synaesthesia has never given me any grief. It's too pleasant. It's more like an old friend that's always been there. What does a non-synaesthete see when they hear the word dog, for example? Do they see a dog, or do they see the word dog sat in the other space in their mind? I get both, in varying degree, in a varying order. I previously assumed everyone gets at least an image of what a word describes when a word is said, but for the non-synnies out there, perhaps just saying any word could merely generate the image of that object that the word describes as being something that was once learnt on an intellectual level.
The way I describe the sensation or the experience is always a real kind of like pure colour on a white background, and I always associate the colours to paintings by Julian Oppie. They're really kind of blonde and pure.
Synaesthesia, such as the grapheme color type, can be very useful in terms of memory. And there are synaesthetes who find it very easy to memorize names or people's phone numbers. Again, it's effectively a form of internal color coding.
Each day has a different color to which I associate it with. For example, Monday is like pure yellow, Tuesday is royal blue, Wednesday is pink, just a typical girl's pink, Thursday is crimson red, Friday is bottle green, Saturday is a pure sky blue, Sunday's an interesting one. If it's a combination of grey and orange, like the way I associate it with is when you put the colour grey next to each colours, it informs the colour grey, so it's a hybrid of grey and orange. I had this all my life for as long as I can remember, and I didn't think of anything negative of the condition because it's a really natural, pure feeling, almost like the feeling you just get after sex or getting in the bath, and I didn't think anything was weird about it whatsoever.
The thing to remember is that synaesthetes are born with synaesthesia, which means that they've never experienced the universe any other way.
A couple of years ago, I was listening to the radio, and there was a documentary on synaesthesia, and it gave a description of the conditions or the experiences I've always been having. And thus, I looked it up on Wikipedia, did some more research, and found out that I have synaesthesia.
A synaesthete who sees color in response to sound might have difficulty following a lecture, as the ability to understand the content of the lecture is obscured by the distraction from the colors which they're seeing.
The word question creates a raw to cooked vegetable munching sensation, celery, cauliflower, taste and texture. The act of pronouncing the quest, the Q-U-E-S, the qu is what generates this. The word question as a colour is a golden yellow with patchy glints of blue and black, along with the feeling of other shades that are a little bit hard to identify.
The other thing to realize is that synaesthesia is not necessarily a blessing or a curse. It's just part of a person's way of experiencing the world.